Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be with you. Let me first introduce to my right Don Herriott, the new Director of Innovista Partnerships, and you'll hear about how enthusiastic I am and we are about his arrival. I want to make sure that you have plenty of opportunity to ask questions, to engage him. Also, Hildy Teagan, Dean of the Darla Moore School of Business. And the way we'd like to operate this is we'll have some brief remarks from me, and from Don and from Hildy, and then we'll open it up to you for questions, if that's okay. I know most of you are here with a question about what is Innovista's future, and I'd like to tell you where we are today, and Don and certainly Hildy will both talk to you even more about tomorrow than about yesterday. Let me start by reviewing that I believe that Innovista is perhaps the boldest initiative ever undertaken by the University of South Carolina. It was a giant step outside of our boundary, the brick wall that has guarded the horseshoe for many, many years. But we stepped out and we stepped up because we believe that the knowledge economy has to come to South Carolina, and because we believe that the University of South Carolina and other research universities can play a major role in advancing the knowledge economy. We knew it would be challenging from the very beginning, but we believed then and still believe now that the faculty of the University of South Carolina were an economic engine that had to be pulled together to work more concertedly. Not only the engineers and the laboratory scientists, but in particular the professors at our Moore School of Business and other colleges at the university needed to team up to leave the ivory tower. And they have, I think, like never before. Let me just tell you that progress in Innovista has been great. Let me start with research funding. Research funding is at a historic high, over $200 million a year, and that in itself is Innovista. The number of disclosures that we have about intellectual property is at a record high. The number of patents is at a record high. Licensing revenue from work that has been marketed to companies around the United States of America is also at a record high. And perhaps most impressively, our incubator has been incubating. And not only incubating, but hatching, if I may call it that, hatching small and new businesses at a record rate. I could not be more proud of the number of new startups that are here in Columbia, around the Midlands, and some of them in other parts of the state that emerged most frequently because of a partnership between a professor, perhaps a student at the University of South Carolina, and a commercial interest, either locally or from farther afield. Now, let me also tell you that some of these have already failed, and others will fail, because the nature of the knowledge economy is to take a risk, is to venture forth, is to put one foot in front of the other, and some of them will cross the finish line, but of course not all of them will. So by all of those measures, Innovista is well underway, and Innovista is also all around us, literally here today, with 3 research buildings and 2 parking garages. The Horizon 1 building at the corner of Main and Blossom Street is slated to house 2 centers of economic excellence, those of Dr. Kenneth Reifsnyder and Dr. Brian Benzowitz and their world-class research teams. Right here in Discovery 1, that is the home for Dr. James A. Baer, head of our Cancer Prevention and Control network, and his many, many millions of dollars of federal grants are based right here in Discovery, with many more researchers to come. There are also companies who would not be here in Columbia today but for the relationships that have been forged with Innovista and with university faculty, companies like Duck Creek and Colexis and Ometric and Eagle Eye and the Consortium for Enterprise Systems Management, and there will be many, many more in the future, as I'm confident. So today I'm here to reiterate that the University of South Carolina is unequivocally committed to Innovista. We believe that Columbia someday, with respect to the knowledge economy, may become synonymous with those other places that come to mind, including to the minds of some of you here, places, and I'm not trying to say that our path will be exactly the same, but places like Austin, Texas, and the many other places, some of them like Columbia being state capitals, in fact, that had a dynamic that struggled for a while and that finally became a place that the entire country could look to as one of the most hopeful and promising homes for the knowledge economy. So now I'd like to officially introduce our Director of Innovista Partnerships. When I was looking for the right person to lead Innovista, I wanted someone first and foremost with a fresh approach, and also someone who was experienced. We were looking for a seasoned leader. That doesn't mean old, Don. Seasoning can happen at many stages of a career, and particularly someone with a strong business background. I was not looking for a traditional academic or for a person who worked in a traditional research campus or research park. I wanted, and he'll talk more about this, I wanted the value proposition of Innovista to be seen from outside eyes, not from inside the eye socket, but looking back at Innovista from somebody with deep business experience. So you know Don Herriott. He's a highly respected business leader. He's got a proven record of bringing diverse groups together. He also has a lot of vision. But probably the word that comes to mind more than any other is strategic. And he will tell you more about his plan to develop the next strategic plan for Innovista. And he's also somebody who cares deeply not only about our university, but about the entire state. So please help me welcome the Director of Innovista Partnerships, Mr. Don Herriott.
Thank you, Harris. I'm honored to be here today as part of a team that will help guide the continued growth and development of Innovista. As Harris mentioned, I also believe it's undoubtedly one of the most important initiatives for the Midlands and our region in decades. Or perhaps as Mayor Krobel said in his State of the Speech last week, Innovista will be Columbia's region's greatest opportunity to create new jobs and increase our per capita income. Dr. Pastides, you and President Sorensen are to be commended for your extraordinary vision. And I also credit you with your tenacity in shepherding this dream into a reality. The Innovista experience is a live, learn, earn, and play experience. It's more than buildings. It's a community that comprises the university, businesses, entertainment, and housing, all in a way to create a unique quality of life that is both rewarding and satisfying. From the scientist driving in from Lexington to a resident who lives just steps away from a bustling Vista district, or to a casual visitor to the waterfront park. Innovista is about making Columbia and South Carolina globally competitive in today's knowledge-based economy. It is about opportunities, and yes, it is certainly about jobs. Opportunity plus good, well-paying jobs add up to economic growth in ways that can be profound. The vision continues to unfold and is already apparent, as Harris mentioned, in many initiatives around us. Our centers of economic excellence, in addition to Brian Benzwitz and Ken Reeve-Snyder, we've recently added Simon Hudson and Rita Snyder. This program was enacted by the General Assembly in 2002 and has brought more than $250 million in non-state or private investment into the state's economy and has led to the creation of 3,200 jobs, most of which are high-paying, knowledge-based positions. The Vista, with its galleries and eateries, where business people can get together over a power lunch by day and people flock to at night for good food, fellowship, and fun. The waterfront park, the convention center that can bring visitors across the country, or Adesto, the newest addition to living in the district. These are all part of the Innovista vision. What I see happening here today in Columbia is reminiscence of my days in Silicon Valley and Boulder, Colorado. I lived in Silicon Valley for many years, and as a college student, visited it when it was just getting off the ground. I had friends who were in the homebrew club with Apple founders Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. My old company, Syntex, chose to set up a discovery research and a corporate headquarters in Palo Alto because of its proximity to Stanford University, relocating from Mexico in the early 60s. I also lived in Boulder, Colorado, which is home to hundreds of innovative high-tech companies and government agencies, many of whom owe their presence due to the University of Colorado. So I know firsthand how knowledge created by world-class researchers can be converted into world-class companies in a knowledge-based economy. I've seen ideas germinate into a proposal and then a working project, which leads to an exciting discovery that's transferred to a global marketplace. The living experience of Innovista I can relate to during my 5 years working in Europe. I lived in an apartment where I could walk to work. I was surrounded by dozens of restaurants and coffee houses, yes, including Starbucks. And on any given day, I could take advantage from a jewelry festival to a circus that was in town, or perhaps just a leisurely walk along the Rhine River. I could live, work, and play without ever having to get into a car. This is part of the future I see for Innovista. Innovista is the globally competitive winning formula. By building on what we already have, an inevitable, affordable quality of life, dedicated leadership, an enthusiastic academic community engaged in cutting-edge research and commercialization, we can create a research district that will transform our city and even our state. We'll do this in working in partnerships with the many others who share the vision of Innovista. Some people have asked me why I'm so excited about Innovista, and I respond to that as, the question is not why am I so excited about being a part of this bold vision, but why wouldn't anyone be excited about being part of it? We have much to look forward to, much to do, and much more to accomplish, and I'm just very proud and honored to be part of the Innovista team. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Dean Hildy Egan.
Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Innovista. We're standing here today next to the site of the new home of the Darla Moore School of Business, which will be located literally across the street there. We will be in that new home by May of 2013, which to some seems like a pretty distant future. But being thickly involved with our faculty and students and staff and alumni and donors around the planning of this new facility, I realize it's going to be here before we know it. And we are delighted to play a very central role in the Innovista. We like to say that Innovista is headquartered in Columbia, South Carolina. And the notion of a headquarters, we think, is an important concept that's important for all of us to recognize with regard to Innovista, because Innovista is both a place and a thing. And the place is very exciting and very important, and certainly will have an incredible impact on Columbia, South Carolina, the Midlands, and the state. But Innovista, the thing, is much bigger than that. And the international expertise of the Darla Moore School of Business, we believe, is a critical piece of bringing Innovista, the thing, to a much broader, much more impactful stage. So, the Innovista is already here. The Innovista is already where our students and our faculty are bringing their expertise and their energy and their insights in collaboration across many fields in our university, where we're working actively with industry partners on commercialization, and we're engaging leaders in government and in the community in this area to recognize fully the full potential of what bringing great ideas to market can mean. We're doing this in ways that solve the most important and difficult problems facing South Carolina and facing the world. And we think that we're doing it in ways that will inspire many others to reach beyond what they thought was possible. Innovista is economic development. Yes, it is jobs. There will be important and impactful direct employment associated with Innovista. But I would argue that more importantly, the university plays a critical role in Innovista with regard to economic development through our very central educational mission. We are preparing future leaders to work effectively in organizations not only in South Carolina, but indeed across the world, who understand how to use the power of markets for solving problems. We also recognize that we contribute directly to economic development through the application of the knowledge that we're creating in our labs and in our research offices, through advancing knowledge in a variety of fields such that businesses and other organizations can continually improve their operations and can grow. So, Innovista is about economic development, but Innovista is also very much about the power of networks. We view Innovista as being both a hub and a portal. It's a hub in the sense that it's a place where we can centralize talent, activities, and energy for a common purpose, but it's also an important portal. It's a portal through which the best and brightest of South Carolina can be brought effectively to the world, and where the best of the world can be brought effectively to South Carolina. It is more than a place in Columbia. Within the state of South Carolina, we can use the Innovista as a portal to be able to take advantage of the expertise and the energy resident in all of the universities, not only in the University of South Carolina system, but indeed in all the research universities and other research institutions throughout the state. Working in partnership with our small business development centers around the state, we can further effectively lever the kinds of activities that we see here in Columbia and beyond for purposes of business development. And South Carolina enjoys a terrific asset that we believe is yet underdeveloped and underexploited, that we are confident Innovista will play an important role in fulfilling, and that is to tap in to the incredible expertise of a community of individuals who have chosen explicitly South Carolina as a place to retire. Seasoned executives that bring world-class contacts and world-class knowledge from leading businesses around the world to bear on important problems in our state. We also know that this hub and portal concept is critical for our ability to embed the Innovista into a global network. Across the globe, through our scientific expertise, we are able to tap into the insights and the leadership in science and engineering and in business and a variety of fields, literally from around the world, as our faculty are very tightly coupled with collaborators all around the United States and beyond. We have 250,000 alumni working as productive citizens all throughout the world, and these productive alumni can be important conduits for us to further extend the reach of Innovista. Finally, we are very proud to associate with important partner firms like Fluor. Fluor Construction, as you know, is a leading player in markets all around the world, and they look to us through our activities here in Innovista to help shape their ability to be successful in reaching these markets. We can't do it alone, and we can't do it without technology. And so looking at partnerships that we've formed with key players like Cisco that allow us to leverage telepresence technology further enhance our ability to be able to extend this hub concept. I think it's important to not ignore the important lure and draw of the Gamecock. We've got these loyal alumni who have had firsthand experience as students, working with other students and with our faculty and staff in ways that present a very compelling reason for them to associate with us in the Innovista. We've had lots of attention from loyal Gamecocks who are interested in co-locating with us here in the Innovista because of this hub and portal concept. So we are very excited to welcome Don Herriott as our colleague in the Innovista. Don is a proven leader, seasoned, yes, in the best sense of the word, executive, who will play a key role for us in the Innovista. It has been my great fortune to serve with him on the Palmetto Institute board, and through this service, I've seen that he's been able to demonstrate some very compelling features that I think will serve him and us well at the helm of the Innovista. Don understands the configuration and coordination of large, complex, multinational organizations that bring the best of the world here and the best of us beyond. He's played a leading role in industries that require innovation for profitability. He recognizes the very high purpose in profitable private enterprise that advances and improves our lives. He appreciates the power of partnership with universities, with business, government, and communities in bringing innovation to market. He knows how to develop the next generation of leaders. Look at his example working with New Carolina and with the very, very well-regarded apprenticeship program at Roche. And he's committed to training future leaders to understand how to leverage the productive forces of markets and to navigate the often complex regulatory environments in serving customer needs effectively. The vision and passion of President Pastides and President Sorensen before him, and the support of the rest of the USC community, coupled with the strength and commitment of business, government, and community leaders in the Midlands and throughout South Carolina, are matched with a capable, determined leader in Don Herriott, with whom we will bring Innovista to its fullest potential. Just as Don saw the development of Silicon Valley firsthand, I had the opportunity to watch Austin, Texas become the innovative powerhouse it is today. We are very fortunate to be involved in the early steps of the Innovista and are inspired in creating a distinctive and vibrant future for the University of South Carolina, the Midlands, and the Palmetto State. Thank you all for your interest in the Innovista and for your individual and collective contributions to this bright future. Thank you.